She's
And we're live. Welcome to Wine Wednesdays, everybody. For those of you who are watching us live, say hi so we can say hi back. For those of you on the replay, give me a hashtag replay so we can say hi later. And if you're coming in from my Powerhouse Women group, click the StreamYard link above so we can see your lovely comments. And welcome my beautiful friend and guest, Dolores Eaton. Cheers.
Thank you. This has been a long time since we did a Wine Wednesday, so I'm so glad you reached out. So thank you. Thank you.
It's been a long time, and I mean, let's talk about that, because I mean, we went from, well, friends for, I don't even know, over 25, 26 years. Hi, Michelle. To doing an online business together. Well, 2 years for you, 18 months for me, to going now in different paths, but still, we're still kind of in the same world kind of thing, but a little bit of different paths. And it's been kind of interesting because we've gone from talking to each other every day to it's like every 2 weeks kind of thing.
Well, it's funny because today while I was doing my lives on my business page, I was talking about how, my connections seem to go with me. And everything that I do in my life seems to branch out in other people's lives too. So as much as that, we did the online business together and it was amazing. It was amazing because I don't think we would have got where we are today without it. Because just learning the social media, the strategies, the funnel clicks, the back end, the everything that we had no clue how Facebook really runs, which I don't think a lot of people do know the intensity behind running a business and how much involvement really is to get things up and running, to the spiritual world. And I've been in the spiritual world forever. And I remember even bringing you into the healing sessions of the spiritual world. And I believe spiritual people follow spiritual people. Like it's just everyone in our group has gone into the spiritual world. There's always a connection. There's something that was left behind that was picked up.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. And I think because we've all been on, the group of us that were together in the online business too, right? We've all been on similar paths as far as well, personal development. And, we've all branched off into the coaching industry in one way, shape, or form kind of thing. And it's so exactly. And then, cute. Someone's like, I made it today. Yay. Click the StreamYard link so we can see who this is. But it's interesting how the journeys we're on, and the twists and turns, but you can still be together kind of thing, right? Because you and I mean, we've known all the years we met at a home show where you had your Fifth Avenue jewelry and I had furnaces and air conditioning.
And going back all the way then, even when I was selling jewelry, people would come to me, but there was always a message for them. It's like, how people are just salespeople and they buy from you and you have no contact with them? Like there's people like that out there in the world, right? Yeah. But they always received a message or something that they left feeling full. Like whatever I gave them that day, we became soul sisters, so close, because when you came to me, there was always a message. There was always something that you stayed for more. And I'm going to tell you, I was grateful that you stayed for more because you bought more. So you would go from a $200 bracelet to a $200 necklace, and I'll pick up the ring to match the necklace and the bracelet. And I
gotta have that.
Is that not true? And until Bernie got there, it was like the shopping and the healing. It was, and I didn't put those two together until I started placing my business, my spiritual messages for the soul, my spiritual messages for the soul business, because I was in a mindset that I needed a product to sell. Bottom line, I am the product. Bottom line, whatever I have for somebody comes in at the moment. It's not like it's pre-planned. It's not like it's pre-written. It's not like I go into someone's Facebook page to find out who all they are. I don't. Because first of all, Facebook is just a persona, a pretense of their life. Nobody puts something terrible on there. They're only going to put stuff on there that you want to see that's going to make you happy, but they're not going to put how sad they are, what their insides are suffering, what they're missing, what their triggers are, what their frictions are, they don't. They appear to be happy all the time. So I'm not going to go check someone out, because whatever message comes to them at the time is clear. It's clear.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's different when it comes to Facebook. Hi, Colleen.
Hey, Colleen. Oh, she's always the nicest lady ever. I just love she definitely all supports everybody in this.
Yeah, I know. Colleen's one of those too that I've known for a while. We just kind of follow each other around, and it's like you said, like because there is a lot on Facebook, where everybody's selling a product, and like whether it's a weight loss product, a health product, like whatever, and there are some stuff on there where it's like, where lifestyles, because you and I were both in that, right? It was kind of your lifestyle, right? And you're promoting your lifestyle and you don't even talk about the product. So then it's like, okay, so what is the product kind of thing? So, it just sits there. So I see where you're saying, yeah, it is definitely pretenses. It's actually when you're selling a service, like you're doing or I'm doing, then it's like, I don't know, it's like you can be your true authentic self. Mm-hmm. Right. And so, yeah, I don't know what StreamYard is. Hopefully you see this now. No, just type in your name. Sorry, I don't know why it's so crazy. I know something about my women's group where it just doesn't show. Yeah.
But anyway. It is true. It is like when you're selling a service and you're guided and directed and you're living your life on purpose, because this is what your life, we've had to go through life lessons in order to get here. So we didn't become healers or intuitives or spiritual gurus because we didn't have these life lessons. So we all have, and that's what I see in the spiritual world is there's life lessons that people have gone through in order to get where they are, to get to moving that needle, if you want to call it, making those new decisions in their lives, following new paths, following new ideas. And even with those new ideas, like when we were talking earlier about products, like what did I say? What was my input about a product? But the thing is that I don't have anything against residual incomes. I have nothing against multi-level organizations, as long as you're doing it your way.
Yeah.
As long as you are serving yourself, as long as you are not, because once you're not serving yourself and you're not doing it your way and you're following hey Sandy.
Hi Christine. My girlfriend Christine. Hi Sandy.
So yeah. Then it's not going to work, because it has to be your way. Nobody.
It has to be your way, and it has to be authentic, because when they say this is what you have to do and this is how you have to sell it and you got to bug these family members or do this and it just becomes if it doesn't feel true to you. And I mean, there are some amazing products out there, but I feel, and I know a lot of the people, I mean, I'm a distributor for some products, but I do it for myself. I don't do it as a business, but my heart does go out to all the multi-level people out there that are really trying to make it a business, and they don't get to authentically be them. They're like following what they're told up top. That may have worked for people up top, but not necessarily work for them. So when you can be, your true self, because I've talked to some of my clients about this too, right? Because I have multi-level clients, and we talk about that, right? You got to sell it how it works for you. And if that means going and you want to talk about the product when they tell you not to, well, this is Facebook, and if you're building a business on Facebook, we want to know what the product is.
Right. And I mean, that's what Facebook does. Facebook sells products. What did Sandy just say? Right.
High maintenance and stressed out is not a good business, right? No. Not at all. And I come up with that a lot talking to some of my clients, right? Because they do have a product, and in a lot of cases, the products they're selling, they've done amazing job for them, their husbands, their children, their family. Like they do have these wonderful testimonials, but then they can't talk about it. And that's hard for them. And so we start talking about, for me, it's the emotional mastery around it. So then we start like working on the emotional mastery around it. So how can you talk about it? What's stopping you? Let's talk about some blocks. Let's talk about what this is doing for you, because it starts to make you start to doubt yourself, and you start to doubt your ability. And then it can put you in an easy spiral. And there's so many people out there that are failing at it when there are ways that they can be so successful.
And I love that you said that, because first of all, if you have a blockage, like friction, like blockage on money. So if you have a block on money that you can't make money this way, or it's not godly to make money this way, or here's what I know. God wants everybody to make money. God wants everybody happy. God is a giving God. Ask and you shall receive. If you have a block around money saying that I can't make money doing it this way, it'll stop. Because I made money on the online business. I made money right from the go. I brought in people that love, like, and trust me. And it wasn't the product. They bought me. They bought my excitement. They bought my energy. They bought because I was pumped. What I wasn't pumped about was my team wasn't making money. And then Spirit went, Dolores, how you feeling about that? I'm not feeling good. And then that's the time. But I had to go through that switch. I know everything that happens in our lives happen for a reason. I went to Fifth Avenue for 30 years. And in those 30 years, I was in the spiritual world, working with my inner self and my healing and all that, helping clients as they were buying jewelry. Did the switch onto the online business just to understand what social media looked like, the whole back end of it, and found some amazing gurus that actually just ended up opening a new business for me, which is how to do the spiritual world online. And that is the journey. That is the life lesson. There's nothing in there that was right or wrong.
Yeah.
Just an absolutely amazing life lesson.
Yeah. You know what? It really was, because without that, like you said, without that, we wouldn't have been where we are today. And to go on that journey and to take the lessons out of there, the lessons and the blessings, and go, here's where we are now. Even though at the time our egos were kicking in and saying, we're getting angry about certain things, it was like, once you just kind of let the anger kind of well up, because this is one thing I've really been learning. This is one thing that I've really been practicing lately. It doesn't happen very often, but I had a situation, and I've talked about it a few times, probably on all my lives, because I think this is just so amazing. I had some anger built up, and I kept squashing it for like about 2 years, 2.5 years. Well, 2 years. Yeah, I don't know anyway, but I just kept squashing it. And then about every 6 months, something would happen and it would just rise back up again. It would rise back and I would squish it and I would squish it. And it wasn't until I actually sat in the anger and just let it rise up, like full on rise up. Like it brought me back to my martial art days, my kickboxing days, where I just wanted to kick and punch and just let her rip. Instead, I just ripped up a bunch of packing paper, kind of screamed, yelled, swore, everything in the book, and then had a big ass ugly cry and just let the tears flow and just let it come out. And once I did all that, then the anger rose up and then it dissipated. And that's the thing, is energy is in our body. And when we squish it, it's just going to keep coming back, keep coming back. When we have those emotions and those feelings, they need to transmute. They need to transmute. And from fear and anger, you can transmute it into love. And that's what you want. You want to go from there to a state of love. And that's what I actually did, was used all my training, which I for the last, I don't know, like my 2 years of emotional mastery training and now coaching people. It was like, I just sat with it and go, okay, Shauna, how would you coach somebody else through this? Because you're good at coaching other people, but sometimes you don't do it yourself. Right. So I went through the steps, and And it transmuted. It was great. And then the next day I sat down and I was able to write out my 12-month program that I had been blocking, and I couldn't sit down and I couldn't figure out. I've been blocking it. And so after this, I was able to sit down. It all came, and I just wrote out my whole 12-month program. And I was like, wow, that was huge.
That is amazing. And here's like, there's always a step to that. So I've had people exactly what you said, just like come to this place of, I'm going to just call it like a breakdown. Like, it's just like, but there's always the actual element in there that caused the breakdown.
Yeah.
So, today when I was working with a client, and I mean, bless her heart, love her soul, it was like all about failing. I failed. I'm not good enough. I am, and it doesn't matter. I had 4 clients, but it was like not enough. I failed. It was just this broken heart. And I said to her, you know what? The understanding for her was there is no right or wrong. They were only life lessons. She had to go through this actual experience to be where she is today. But she's an amazing mother. She's an amazing wife. And to remove the word failure, but there is something in the word failure that she has to work with.
Yeah.
So, and it goes back to either not being validated as a student, not being validated in college. There's still that key element that she had to go back and go, oh, you know what? I really had a hard time with that, because in high school, I rocked. I was an honor student. And then I did go to college, and I ended up taking, some program that I just took but didn't really care about. So I failed it. And there was money issues around failing a program.
Yeah.
Because school is not cheap and you got to learn fast.
Mm-hmm.
So there was going back to failing. Then that was really what she had to go through, was go back there all the way back to when she was in school.
Mm-hmm.
Say, you actually didn't fail. You actually finished the course that you weren't interested in, that you can totally apply to your life right now. Because it was work, but that's where the failure went.
Wow. Yeah.
And losing money or not having money or any of that still went back to paying for a program that she did that felt that she failed.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And that there's always a key element. There's always a key element. We mirror back things, and we have to understand what we're mirroring back. Mm-hmm. And if, like my son, I love him. He triggers me. And every time he triggers me, I have to go into my session and I have to go, okay, Spirit, give it to me. Give it to me. What is it? And he's like, you have a life lesson around judgment. I'm like, I thought I dealt with it. No, you don't. Because if he's still triggering you, then there's still a life lesson around judgment. So go and give him a hug and a kiss. And instead of being mad at him and want to give him an intervention session, I'm going to do intervention with you, son, because you need some help. Because the thing, he's fine. It's mine to serve.
Yeah.
And that's a life lesson for me to learn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And there was another life lesson with him too. And it was around parenting. So here's the thing. He was doing comments about, parenting and children that are misbehaved and all that, and his is an angel. And so he's doing an overall view of how everyone else parents in the world, and he's so good at it. And I'm like, who are you? I had a trigger around parenting.
Wow.
And it was my parenting.
Yeah.
Not his. Because I was the Disneyland mom. I was the yes mom. Russ was the sergeant. He grounded the kids. He disciplined the kids. And I would tell the kids to go out and play until the dad gets home at 4. I'll give you 15 minutes so you guys can get in the house before he gets home. So he doesn't know that I let you go play video games at your friend's house because you're grounded. So it was all about me. That was me totally going back to my younger time going, that was terrible. And you need to go and apologize to Russ now after 35 years. That's what it was about.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
But there was something around that. It was for
Yeah,
me. It's all
exactly.
for the person.
Yep, it is. It mirrors back, always mirrors back to you. Here's another comment here, Elaine. The online wellness company I refer people to, which I love, has had their company protected for 35 years without naming the actual company. Oh, I do, however, create Facebook posts and Instagram posts effectively. People can approach me easily through a quick message. Ah, okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I have to put my glasses on. Very rare
Yeah.
that I
It's,
have.
yeah, because there are some, and I mean some companies obviously are different. There's some that we've been working with, like I was saying, with like a couple of my clients, where everybody knows the product. She's like, I can totally talk about it. It's the company. There's actually the interesting part. Okay, I'll just back this up. The interesting part is the people at the top of the company. They talk about the product all day long on their everywhere. It's just their upline. Like if you up is like saying, don't talk about the product, don't do this, don't do that. And it's actually their upline telling them not to do that. And so we had some really interesting conversations about that where, yeah, that's why I was just like, you got to do it's right for you. Yeah.
Absolutely. You just
Yeah.
got to do it your way. I only think things work when you do shifts. Um, if it's working, then you don't have to do a shift. I know some people that are on the top. Why do they need to shift?
Yeah.
Well, they don't. But then those that do need to,
Yeah.
they need to do it what works for them. I really do believe that it's that empowering that you feel that you're in control of what you're selling. Like Fifth Avenue, when I was with them, and I mean, that was a signature company. They're still around, and that's 30 years. I got to tell you, they had more rules, more laws, more what I couldn't do. And every single thing that they told me I couldn't do, I did double. I did double, and I thought, what are you going to do? I'm the one that's making the money.
Yeah.
You're going to say, oh, I think this year you shouldn't make 150,000 for us. Like, yeah, you can only do 3 trade shows a year. Okay, I did 30. I'm in. I was in every one of them, and I still hold myself I'm proud.
Yeah. Yeah.
I ran the business the way I needed to run the business. I bought the product. I looked at them as a distributor, and I was a salesperson. I was, a direct sale. I did it my way, and I only succeeded because I did it my way.
Yeah. And you were like number one in Canada for what, 10, 12 years?
I was number one worldwide for 10 to 12 years.
Yeah.
Because I did it my way. And I didn't I wasn't in like group rallies, and I didn't get caught up in masterminds and in group you rebel child.
I know. I love it. That's me and Dolores. I laugh all the time because that's my thing. Even with our dogs, I'm like, yeah, there are no rules. I don't do rules, and my dogs don't do rules.
Yeah, exactly. But it is true. Like I had to do it. I honestly think that this is why things are just starting to feel so much better for me. Is that I am back. I'm back. I'm back at being me. I own it. I serve it, and I had to go through all that friction. I had to go through all those blockages. I had to go through all this stuff to get back to going, you know what? Hold your head up, be proud. You got so much to give, and keep giving. Just keep giving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we are in a world of judgment, right? People do judge. It's until they understand what it looks like, it's what we do.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like for me now, it's like even when I sit down and I'm figuring stuff out, like putting together programs and stuff, ideas come into my head. It's all about how can I serve others? How can I help others? Like how will this help even just one person? Kind of thing. It's coming from that loving energy versus what can I make off this kind of thing, right? And just because I do work with energy, so it's a big thing about the energy, and I work with the numbers and knowing the energy of the day and so on and so forth, where it makes such a difference. And I was talking about this earlier today with a friend, how and I even said it yesterday, like my energy's so calm. I mean, even from when you first met me, like I was just so like wound up tighter than God knows what for so long.
Yeah.
And it started, and in realizing that there was like so many, like we were talking, triggers, like so many triggers, and then mirroring back stuff to me, and then going, okay, let's work on that one, let's work on this one. And there was a lot of gratitude and a lot of forgiveness went along with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really funny because there's always more to learn from. Yeah. Like you're not done learning, and you're not done going through this, because we actually bring in people that we're serving, because we're serving ourselves at the same time. Yeah. And we talked about that earlier. And I know that I have so many gifts, like more than what I can mention. But manifesting has always been one of my biggest gifts. Like, I manifested this house, I manifested being mortgage free, I manifested my Cadillac, I manifested like all the trips I was on. Like, I truly manifested. Like, I want to go to Bali, and then before you know it, it's like we're going to Bali. Like, there was just, yeah, I want to go to Hawaii. And like, it was so, and it's not like the energy really truly equaled what I was manifesting, because it was just a very calming energy. It's like, this is what I want. And that energy equaled what I was manifesting. It wasn't like, this anxiousness, or like, I need this, I'm manifesting this so bad, I gotta have it, because that's not the energy. That's like desperation. That is like anxiety. That's not even the energy. Like, spirit will bring something to me, and I'm like, oh, I think I'm gonna receive that. Like, thank you. I see that happening too. I actually see me manifesting that, what you brought me. So thank you. I'm gonna spend some time with it. Yeah. And manifesting's always been my biggest gift. I've always said that to you too. Like, whatever I manifest, it just happens. Like, it can be as small, like even a phone call. Like, it could be small, but whatever I put out really truly happens. And it is the energy and the equaling, that just calming energy going. Yeah. And that's about, yeah.
I love that you said that, because in we're doing a numerology class today, and that's one of the things with the numerology. And so we were looking at our numbers again, and so it's just neat, because now that I do power codes for other people, and I'm certified in numerology, it's now neat to go back and kind of look at my stuff over again, and I'll have to go over yours again with you too. Yeah. And it's funny, because today when I was looking over mine, and part of the blessings and the gifts of me being a 3 is abundance and manifest easily.
What was mine? Was I a 9?
And then it was sharing my abundance with others. And yeah, that's always been a thing for me. I'm always, sharing. I have to think, you know what? I've done so many codes right now.
I can't remember. It's a 7 or 9.
I have to look at it again.
Yeah. But
I think you're a 9. I think you're a 9.
Yeah, I think so too. 9 was definitely in the spiritual world. It was in the spiritual realm of things. So it was.
Because you were either a 9 or a 10. I think you were a 9, actually.
That was 9. It was definitely in the spiritual realm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it says here, you are a seeker, and you bring unique light to the world with your quest for freedom. You are here to discover the deeper meaning of life, love, and purpose. Your love for yourself seeks expression in the form of love for humanity, and you have a deep need to serve others. You are idealistic and humanitarian who sees the highest potential in others naturally. Because of this, you are naturally drawn to people and resources to fulfill your purpose. And then because you're an idealist, you also need to have that time as well for yourself.
That's interesting, because that was one thing that I did cover today in a session, is that being an achiever and an overachiever in the Enneagram, that I have kept myself busy for 30 years. So I was busy before I got married. I was busy when I had kids, but busy was really important. So I was not one that even knew how to really like relax watching TV. Even if I was out on the bike ride with the kids, or out at the hockey game with the kids, my mind was still on business.
Yeah.
So I was either selling or making calls, or they were skating and I was still making calls on the outside of the ring, or they were playing soccer and I was still making calls, or they were on the bike ride. I'm like, why don't you guys go ahead? And I would still be making calls. And I was always doing business, even when we were camping.
Wow.
And the
Yeah.
people would say, oh, are you camping? Like, are you getting dressed to go somewhere? And I'm like, no, this is me. I'm camping. This is how I dress to go camping with my briefcase. Yeah.
This is the way I do it.
This is my camping look, because I only had one look. And that was, so it was really,
Llama.
well, and that's what I'm saying. It's like I was always busy and I was always in my office. If I wasn't out making money, I was in the office getting clients, getting my shows booked. And 6 for me.
Oh,
Elaine.
Elaine, sorry, I'll let you finish because then I want to talk about the 6. I saw that pop up and I'm like, we need to talk about the 6.
It was just saying about staying busy. I gave myself validation by staying busy, and I'm just doing that switch now where I'm not taking the phone and the laptop with me when I go and watch a movie with Russ,
Yeah.
because I can't stop my brain. And it's not fair for the time that he's put aside. It should be our time. Same thing when we go on drives. He would be on a drive and he's like, oh, look at those beautiful fall colors. I'm like, yeah, they're great. Oh, use this one for an Instagram picture. Oh, I use this one. So I'm now learning this balance, because people in the social media world burn out. And we know a few that have, because you don't know how to turn off the switch. And you start to, I do believe that people start to lose their vision. If you're in front of a computer all day, people that work, and then like we don't, like this is like 24/7.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've been getting really, really good at tuning things at, taking that space. So let's talk about the 6 for a minute, because I love this. Elaine, if you're still here, and obviously you know your number, so you know 6 is like all about love. I love 6 because 6 is such a warm number. It's about harmony, duality. It's about, I'll just read here what it says here, the description. You are a harmonizer of duality, and you are here to channel the energy of love into the world. Like, it's such a beautiful number. It's balancing feminine, masculine energies for your higher good. Your creative expression is to increase and express beauty, flow, and love. You are pulled by a force greater than you and are here to help usher in change in a gentle way. I love that, because it is very much for change, but it is very, very, very gentle way. You love deeply and are incredibly passionate. You are blessed. Solutions always arise for you and perceived as lucky. It is all about truly generating and channeling that love. And it is like, it's like my friend Megan says, it's like that warm cup of cocoa. Yeah. So I love it, Elaine. That's so fun. Great number. They're all great numbers. I mean, we all have our high side and our low side, right? So for me, and 2, and being a 3, right, it can be very amplified. So even though it's like abundance and creative expression, like very creative, like writing, and then manifesting easily. But on the low side, like if I'm not in my energy that day and I'm feeling kind of off that day, then it's like it's amplified the other way. So I can get really kind of down in the dumps, and so I can be very critical of myself and critical of others. And so there's parts where there's like, there's your empowering side to your number and your disempowering side to your number. So it's really just truly knowing that about you and how you can turn your obstacles into like blessings. So yeah.
That's interesting. Because when I hear that, then for me, in the spiritual realm of things, the way that I would look at it is that I wouldn't want you to hold back, because and at your lowest, through. So this is what I know is like when I was like doing a session with doing a group session. It was all about controlling thoughts, like not controlling your thoughts, but processing your thoughts and writing them down. And as raw as they are, like as they come to you, like as raw as they are. So when you're at your lowest low and you're like, oh, I just hate that, like how the hell did we get a $15,000 visa? I don't recall spending that. Like now I'm at my low because I ain't paying it.
So instead, you're like, thank you for the money. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah.
So that would be like my low, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, that freaking vehicle, okay, that maintenance call on it was like, who pays that for maintenance? But I have to go there. I have to go there and then really look at what the problem was. It wasn't the visa.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the maintenance. It's the belief system, like because of my upbringing, that you pay cash for everything. Like you shouldn't even have a visa. Right? So there's like that belief system.
Yeah.
So there's always something to something.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I can go there and go, hey, you know what? That's okay. It might take 6 months to pay it off, but whatever. I'll take a look when I get it again, right? But I have to get to that belief system going. It's 2020, Mom. It's not 1970. Okay, it's two different worlds. Yeah. We spend before we make. That's how it looks.
Oh my God, I love it.
I can't help it. It's not good with you. It's good with
me. Oh my God, you're so funny. I just love you to death. Oh my goodness, girl. Okay, well, I guess we should probably get off. We're like here for like 36 minutes. Cheers, everybody. It's my hand painted. Thank you for joining us, everybody. This has been a great conversation. We could go on forever. So thank you so much. And we'll respond to some of your comments. I hope everybody has a fabulous Wednesday. Cheers. Thank you again, Dolores.
You're welcome. Cheers.
Cheers.